Hello, Justin Williams speaking, and today, for this episode of Goosebumps book and TV episode comparison, I'll be looking towards one of the best Goosebumps stories of all time, Monster Blood. And without further ado, let's get into the basic story of this great classic. You see, there was a boy named Evan Ross whose parents have gone to Atlanta to help buy a house. So in the meantime, he has to stay with his great aunt Catherine, which isn't really like the best, but will have to do for he and his dog Trigger to simply spend some time before he gets the green light to basically just get on a plane and move to Atlanta. But so to pass it, so Evan has met a new friend named a girl named Andy for some weird reason. She's like a tough kid of the neighborhood. She's like one of the tougher kids in the neighborhood, but is not a bully. And she did become friends with Evan. And one day, they both found out a toy they can try playing with called Monster Blood. Some sort of green slime. Where they did try to play with it, such as make it into a ball, but for some odd reason, it bounced up super high. And when it came down, Trigger ate it. And both kids tried to check to see if he had got any ill effects from it. Which at first, nothing really seemed to happen. But over the next couple of days, weird things began to happen. The monster blood seems to be growing by the day. And worse, Trigger seems to be growing larger and disappeared with little trace but giant paw prints on the ground. But then, as the monster blood became much more bigger, it became harder to contain. They tried everything from a bath story, tried to put in the bathtub, put it in the trash can. Nothing worked. But the worst was yet to come. As it turns out, the monster blood was controlled by an evil witch named Sarah Beth, who wanted to use monster blood as part of her usual wicked witchcraft, and tried to sick the monster blood on our heroes, plus Catherine. But who should come to the rescue than Trigger, now monster size, and was able to send her back towards the monster blood to be consumed by it. And it disappeared without a trace. And with the ordeal behind him, it was about around that time that Evan was able to get on the plane to Atlanta, where hopefully the monster blood won't come back to haunt him. Or so he thinks. And that's the story. And now for the differences. Number one, how the monster blood was found is different. In the book, Evan bought a can of monster blood from a toy store. But in the show, they found the monster blood in a room that Catherine specifically told Evan he should never go into. But in number two, the monster blood in the book, the monster blood is a toy. But in the show, the monster blood was created by Sarah Beth, which adds another difference. Sarah Beth was a roommate to Catherine in the show. but which wasn't in the book. Number 3, this trigger, the kind of dog Trigger is different depending on the source material. In the show, Trigger is a collie mix, while in the book, he's a Cocker Spaniel. And the biggest change of all, in number 4, the biggest change of all, is that this is the only book with an actual sequel that's an original story called More Monster Blood, which takes entirely on the plane, with Evan Ross meeting 3 kids who are also on the same plane but discover the horrors of the monster blood. And and try to eat everybody on board. But thanks to Evan's quick thinking, he was able to destroy the monster blood by throwing non-inanimate objects on it to make it so sick it threw up. It basically shriveled into just a globule, which authorities were able to contain. Which may seem disappointing for true lovers of Goosebumps, because as the original book not only had 1 sequel, but 3, all starring Evan Ross. The second book being about a hamster that ate some monster blood and grew bigger. In the third Monster Blood, Evan Ross actually grew much bigger due to consuming monster blood. And the 4th book actually being able to just having blue monster blood instead, that multiplies, grows mean, and has teeth, and drinks a lot of water. And that's it for today. Hopefully things will pick up better with the next couple of books for several days, which will have better differences and even better trivia. So I hope you stay tuned to see more episodes. Until then, this is Justin Williams signing off.